Good evening, wrestling fans, and welcome to the Sunday night edition of SICW Championship Wrestling. And coming to you from a little new look tonight because we have just came off of one great weekend, the SICW Fan Fest 2. And for those of you who were there, thank you very much for your support. For those of you that weren't, maybe if there's another one, maybe you can catch that one. Who knows? But it was a great time. I want to thank all the legends that showed up, but the fans. It was great seeing so many of you. It was awesome. I mean, so many old friends. We made some new friends. Thank you to the vendors. Couldn't do it without each and every one of you. It was just great seeing the fans walk around to the legends and to the vendors tables and the Hall of Fame. What a surprise it was with the entire Orton family being there. When these things, you always have issues that take place. Somebody can't show up at the last minute. Somebody missed a flight. Something came up in their personal life. And we just have to deal with that. But boy, I'm telling you, for everybody that showed up, it was a great time. And so, yes, a bunch of us are tired because it was a long, busy weekend. And that's why we're coming to you kind of on the road here tonight. And instead of in the studio. I hope you understand that. And again, thank you for supporting SICW and the Fan Fest. And we're going to take a little look, going to go back in time of some great Wrestling at the Chase matches since we're celebrating their 65th year of Wrestling at the Chase. Thank you very much, and we'll see you back here next Sunday night.
Welcome to Wrestling at the Chase, the opening bout, a one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing from Amarillo, Texas, weighing 243 pounds, former world champion Dory Funk Jr. And from Tampa, Florida, weighing 228 pounds, Sonny Driver, referee Charles Benita.
How's this for an opening bout? The former world champion, Dory Funk Jr. opposing Sonny Driver. Dory gets in tight with Driver. Driver tried to move underneath. Dory blocked him. Dory hooks the arm underneath. Fireman's carry by Dory Funk Jr. Dory with his body over the top of Driver. Trying to ride those shoulders down. Driver spins about. Comes up with a side headlock briefly. Goes into hammerlock and rides Dory Funk Jr. to the mat. Good move by Sonny Driver on Dory Funk Jr. Dory Jr. has a good campaign going now as he drives to regain the World Heavyweight Championship. That's a goal he would really like to achieve. He's made a couple of tours to Japan. He's been throughout the western states, the southwestern states, recording victories and main events almost everywhere he goes. And now, of course, his sights are set on Dick Murdoch, hoping to avenge a cut he suffered on the forehead, hoping to avenge a 20-minute draw, really. Time running out when Dory Jr. had the upper hand between himself and the controversial, rowdy Dick Murdoch. Dory knows how important a victory over Dick Murdoch could be, what it means in terms of prestige, and what it could mean to his future chances of getting a crack at the World Championship. Dory Jr. rides Driver down, staying on top of him. Count of one. Driver gets a shoulder up. It's a semi-bridge. Trying to ride Dory over. Maybe he can come up with a hammerlock? Nope, Dory's too strong. Too much the master of balance. Dory Jr. with the armbar on Sonny Driver. Dory spins the arm, twisting it. Pressure right from the shoulder, through the elbow to the wrist. Dory yanks the arm out. Dory again jerking on that arm. Double wrist lock. Good hold in itself. Then, of course, Dory could ride the man over into head scissors if he so desired. But instead, he used his weight into the shoulder of Driver and pushed Driver to the mat. Driver counters nicely. Comes up behind Dory Jr. with a hammerlock and then hooks the other arm. He can put Dory's shoulders down here. Count of one. Dory lifts the left shoulder. Struggles as Sonny Driver tries to get the shoulders of Dory Funk Jr. on the canvas. Another count of one. Dory comes up. Driver brings Dory Funk Jr. over. Dory quickly responds, though, and his shoulders aren't down long enough for anywhere near a count of one. Driver in tight with a front face lock on Dory Funk Jr. Driver squeezing Funk's head. Funk lifts, Driver just flips him right over the top with sheer strength. Count of one. Dory keeps the side headlock, though. Wasn't pushed off. He stayed on top of the man and kept the side headlock. Talk about men's power. You know, really, Dory Jr., I think, has gotten stronger over the years. When he originally won the World Heavyweight Championship, I don't think he was that strong. Of course, he was so young that he hadn't really matured into full strength. And now that he's reached full maturity, of course, in terms of his physical build, he has really tremendous strength, just a hard, solid body. No wonder he can take the punishment that he has to take to stay on top of the heap, or at least right at the top of the heap. Watch his shoulders, Dory Jr. says to referee Charles Venator, wanting to make sure that if he gets a shot at a flash pin, he'll take it. A victory's a victory. And against Dick Murdoch, you can bet he'll take a victory in any way, shape, or form. As Dory Jr. told us last week during an interview, Murdoch was a snotty-nosed kid when I knew him back in Amarillo. I can whip his tail then, and I can do it now. Little forearm smash there on the break from Sonny Driver. Not exactly a clean break, but we've seen worse. Driver again forces Funk to the corner. Charles Venator asks for a clean break, doesn't get one. Driver pounds on Dory Jr. And Dory Jr. bangs that forearm against the jaw of Driver. Little tit for tat. Down goes Driver, that wicked forearm uppercut. Dory lifts Driver. Body slam. Dory Jr. also did have a dandy body slam. Flying elbow drop by Dory Funk. He covers Driver, gets a count of one. Driver kicks free. And Dory Jr. clamps the head of Sonny Driver. Another thing that really makes Dory Funk Jr. so effective is the way he controls the pacing of a match.
5 minutes have elapsed, 10 minutes left.
You hear it often spoken about in other sports, how a team will force an opposing team to do their kind of game. In football, perhaps in hockey or basketball especially, where it's a constant flow of action, as it is in wrestling, a constant flow of action. Well, Dory Jr. controls that pace and makes people wrestle at his pace. And of course, that's what helps to make Dory Jr. effective, literally making them wrestle his match as he stretches out the arms of Driver with a surfboard hold. Dory ends up in the corner. He's a little reluctant to release those arms of Driver. Driver throws a punch to the rib cage and then pounds away those forearm smashes again on Dory Funk Jr. Side headlock by Driver. Greco-Roman back body drop by Dory Funk Jr. Just like that, bing bang, and down goes Driver. Count of one. Driver hard pressed to get that shoulder up. He's been rattled. Thanks to Dory Jr.'s Greco-Roman back body drop and then the sizzling forearm uppercut. Driver pushed to the ropes and thrown across the ring by Dory Jr. Oh, Driver tried to kick Dory Jr. Dory stopped him. Drops him with the forearm. Spinning toe hold. The spinning toe hold by Dory Funk Jr. on Sonny Driver. Driver crying out in pain, and he submits. Dory Jr. immediately releasing the grip, which often has caused ankle and knee damage to his opponents when they failed to submit, and Dory Jr. really had to keep the pressure on for a long amount of time. It's the spinning toe hold by Dory Funk Jr. Dory's a winner, and here's ring announcer Mickey Garagiola.
In 6 minutes and 22 seconds, the spinning toe hold, the winner, former world champion Dory Funk Jr. Event, a one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing from Denton, Texas, weighing 235 pounds, Kevin Von Erich. From Charlotte, North Carolina, weighing 236 pounds, Ron Starr. Referee Chuck Raleigh.
The fans here in the KPLR TV studio have a tough choice as Ron Starr and Kevin Von Erich shake hands. Who to root for? I imagine they'll try to split it and root for both because there should be some dandy wrestling involved in this. Starr goes behind Kevin. Von Erich switches nicely. He's behind Starr. Starr returns the favor, takes Kevin down, tried to roll him into a cradle. Kevin reaches behind him. Starr blocks that with the arm. Kevin brings Starr over the hip. Comes up with a wrist lock on Ron Starr. Starr rolls over, gets Chuck Riley. Kevin Von Erich thrown over the side by Ron Starr. A fast-moving exchange that even involved the referee, Chuck Riley. Starr checks to make sure Riley's okay, which he is. A lot of referees will tell you a match like this with good, quick, scientific action is sometimes harder to work than a rough match. Clean break. The crowd appreciates it. Ron Starr with an arm bar, working also in the wrist area on Kevin Von Erich. Starr twists the arm of Kevin. Starr twisting some more, trying to force Kevin down to the mat. Starr really applying the pressure to Kevin Von Erich, and you can see right where that leg is, underneath the shoulder, making it even harder for Kevin Von Erich to regain his feet. So Kevin flips over, comes up, counters to a wrist lock, down goes Starr. Good move by Kevin Von Erich. Two good wrestlers here. How do you handicap one like this, Mick? Tough one to pick.
This is really tough. I mean, scientific and great. Two top wrestlers right here. This Starr is something else, you know?
Good counter there by Starr to go to the hammerlock on Kevin Von Erich. Kevin trying to come to his feet while trapped in the hammerlock of Ron Starr. Counter by Kevin Von Erich. This will be a good lesson on counters, takedowns, escapes. Starr comes up on top, goes behind Kevin. Kevin rolls over and out. They both come up quickly and they're eye to eye. Good wrestling by both men, and they know it. They respect each other. Something that Dory Funk Jr. talked about last weekend when he said, well, I want to wrestle him, but I respect him too. I don't know if Dory Jr. has that much respect for Dick Murdoch, though. He respects his toughness, I'm sure, and the fact that he's won many big matches. But whether or not he respects him in terms of a professional level of the type of tactics that Murdoch uses, well, that I would question whether Dory Jr. has that type of respect for someone like Dick Murdoch. He apparently does for the Von Erich clan. Ron Starr with the side headlock on Kevin Von Erich. Wonder if Starr is thinking about that body scissors Kevin has been developing. He can use it both as a pin, and we hear now as a submission. He's developed enough strength in his legs. It's very important, of course, the positioning of the legs, the extension of the muscles so that they're in the proper spot of the opponent's body. Starr twisting back on Kevin Von Erich's head with that side headlock. Of course, a lot of the fans have seen some of the pictures that were contained in the wrestling program of that body scissors. Flying tackle by Starr, and that showed photos of hip toss by Kevin Von Erich. Kevin kicked away by Starr. No body press there. Side headlock by Starr. Down goes Kevin. As we were saying, it was actually a sequence of photos which showed Kevin starting out on the burlap bag. Full bag, full of, I believe it was wheat at the time. Kevin put the body scissors on that bag, and as he can do very often now, literally squeezed it, smashed the bag wide open, and emptied that bag. Now think, if he can do that with a burlap bag around wheat, and that is difficult to do. Try it sometime. Find out how hard it is to do. Think what he can do to someone's midsection.
Yeah, I hate to see that happen.
There's the head scissors by Kevin Von Erich. Starr ended up in the ropes, and Starr has to shake his head. That head scissors obviously just as effective as the body scissors.
The one thing about Von Erich, he's got that drop kick, they got that claw hole, and then, you know, they got so many holes.
So many things you can think about and worry about. That body scissors, though, really a hole that he got the idea from Joe Stecker. Joe Stecker, by way of saying much, I got to say, because I believe Stecker was dead by the time Kevin was born. Stecker was a three-time world heavyweight champion, originally winning the title in 1915. His last reign began when he won it here in St. Louis in 1925.
5 minutes have elapsed, 10 minutes left.
Joe Stecker popularized the body scissors, used it as a submission hold, and like Kevin, trained by breaking open bags of wheat. Sam Muchnick was aware of this. He'd seen Stecker when Sam was a sports writer for the old St. Louis Times, and when he saw Kevin, the power that Kevin had in his legs, he got Kevin aside and says, Kevin, this is something you should think about. He explained a little bit about it to him. Kevin did some research on his own, and with the help of his father and brother David, trained on strengthening those legs, and now that body scissors is just about perfected. Starr carrying Kevin Von Erich to the corner. Kevin lifted over the side. Chuck Riley wants a clean break and gets one from Ron Starr. Another round of applause for two sportsmanlike competitors, Ron Starr and Kevin Von Erich. Kevin with a leg dive, doesn't get there. Starr eluded it. Both men pretty quick. Right now it's like a chess match. Each one's looking for a little opening. Well, where can I get into this guy? What can I do to him to slow him down or get him down the mat? Starr shakes his head. You're not going to get me that way. They tie up. Starr moves behind Kevin Von Erich with a full Nelson. Kevin, will he try to muscle his way out of it? He's just behind for Starr's head. Couldn't pull him forward. Kevin flexing. Drops out. Beautiful move by Kevin Von Erich. Starr managed to roll him away. Good escape by Kevin Von Erich. Starr shakes his head, and I think it's as much an admiration and respect for Kevin's ability as anything. Starr with a fireman's carry. Comes up with an arm lock on Kevin Von Erich. Starr puts his knee against Kevin's head. Kevin rolls under, forcing his way to his feet. No, he's not coming off that knee because Starr has the leverage right now. Starr pulling on the arm of Kevin Von Erich. Pretty even so far. A lot of good moves by both men. Oh, Kevin got out and came out flying with a drop kick. Kevin landed heavily, and Starr got tagged just on the face. He almost got away, but not quite. And Kevin landed heavily himself because his drop kick was not totally accurate, and that allowed Starr to regain the arm bar on Kevin Von Erich. Kevin hooked the leg. He was going to go for the fireman's carry. Starr realized it and lifted that leg away. The two men end up in the ropes. Clean break by Kevin Von Erich. Well, neither man's had much of an edge yet. No near pins. Pretty even so far. Good test. A good demonstration of holds. I don't think the match between Dory Funk Jr. and Dick Murdoch is going to be quite like this. Murdoch's a heck of a wrestler. Don't kid yourself. He knows what to do. He knows the holds. He knows the escapes. He knows how to get those quick little cradles that mean victory sometime. That could end up a war. And I'll tell you, when Kevin Von Erich takes on Bobby Duncombe, Duncombe's a totally different type of opponent than Ron Starr. Duncombe, much bigger, coming in around 290 pounds. He's a brawler. He gets in there, uses his weight, leans on him, into him constantly, using his weight and his size, trying to wear down an opponent. And of course, he has that bulldog headlock, which has been very effective for him. So Kevin Von Erich first with Ron Starr, and then, of course, coming up with Bobby Duncombe. Two tough tests for Kevin Von Erich, two totally different styles. Starr dumps Kevin over and gets his arm free. Kevin says, pretty good, good move. A little bit of congratulations from Kevin Von Erich, which doesn't change the fact he'd love nothing better than to get Starr's shoulders on that mat. Short arm scissors by Ron Starr, figure four arm lock if you prefer that tag to it. Whatever name you apply, that is a very good hold, and that could be a toughie for Kevin to get out of. Kevin rolls over, Starr rolls right with him. Good move by Starr there. The short arm scissors by Ron Starr and Kevin Von Erich. And even in a match like this, with two scientific wrestlers involved, two men who believe in sportsmanship, tempers can get frayed, get hot, you get angry, something doesn't work right for you, the perspiration's in your eyes are burning a little bit, you're getting a mat burn. Pretty easy to lose your temper in there. Rolling short arm scissors now by Ron Starr. Hey, this could be followed up by a pin or a submission. Ron Starr with the rolling short arm scissors, bringing Kevin Von Erich over once more.
10 minutes have expired, 5 minutes left.
They rolled and rolled and rolled. Kevin managed to jackknife himself back over on top. They ended up in the ropes, and once more, clean break by both men. Side headlock by Kevin Von Erich on Ron Starr. Kevin tossed to the ropes. Hip toss by Starr. Kevin hangs on, but it's Starr who comes up with the hold. Kevin had a good idea hanging on to the arm, but Starr countered quickly inside, came up with that short arm scissors once more on Kevin Von Erich. This is the type of hold that can cut off the blood flow to Kevin's hand, and you'll have to watch that carefully. It really could immobilize that left hand. Oop, look out, Starr was in a cradle. That's as close as we've been to a pin there. He had a count of 2 on Starr's shoulders, and it caused Starr to release the short arm scissors. Another warm round of applause for Ron Starr and Kevin Von Erich. Cautiously, tentatively, they reach out, lock fingers. Test of strength between Ron Starr and Kevin Von Erich. Both men bending, twisting, trying to find out where the edge is. They come around backwards, come around frontwards. Kevin comes out, gets a wrist lock. Good work by Kevin Von Erich on Ron Starr. Starr tossed over the hip. Kevin with the wrist lock. Starr cries out as Kevin pours on the pressure with that wrist lock. Now Starr twists about. Couldn't bring it all the way over. Too much pressure from Kevin Von Erich.
Three minutes left, 3 minutes.
3 minutes remain in a very even battle between Ron Starr and Kevin Von Erich. Kevin tripped down by Starr. Kevin counters nicely to the hammerlock on Ron Starr. Kevin Von Erich with the hammerlock. Chuck Riley is told by Starr that Starr will not give up. Kevin twists that hammerlock even further up behind the back of Ron Starr. You're going to have to earn it, says Kevin to Ron Starr. Starr with a fireman's carry breaks the arm free. Starr was going to pounce. Kevin was already poised to spring. Starr locks both arms, double arm lock. He might be able to flip him over with a double arm suplex, but Kevin can get underneath too. Double arm suplex by Starr. He goes for the pin. Count of 1. Kevin Von Erich throws off Ron Starr. Starr going for the vertical suplex. Yes, the suplex by Ron Starr. This could be it. No, not even a count of 1. And Kevin Von Erich survives the suplex. Von Erich with a blow to the stomach and then a drop kick. Floors Ron Starr. Kevin trips the legs to dump Ron Starr. Leg snap by Kevin Von Erich. The leg snap. Yanking back on that hamstring, snapping it, hurting it. Elbow smash to the head by Ron Starr. The match getting a little rougher now. The temper's getting a little bit more worn. Kevin Von Erich flipped to the ropes. Oh, they both tried drop kicks. Both men tried drop kicks, and both men go down. They'll have a count of 10. Starr was up for the drop kick, just as Kevin Von Erich went up to try a drop kick himself.
1 minute left, 1 minute.
Only a minute remaining. Kevin lifts Starr, body slam by Kevin Von Erich. He covers Starr, but cannot keep those shoulders down. Kevin hits the rope. What's this? Giant splash? Oh, he missed. Starr roll away the giant splash. Missed. Starr mounts the ropes. Starr with the atomic drop, and he misses. Starr trying to dive bomb Kevin Von Erich off the ropes, but Kevin had enough presence of mind to roll away. Both men a bit the worse for wear right now. Kevin whipped to the ropes. Starr tries to flip him. Jackknife and cradle. Jackknife and cradle. Count of 1. Oh, and Starr rolls those shoulders off. There's the body scissors. There's that body scissors, and Starr goes for the ropes. The body scissors by Kevin Von Erich, and Starr had to go for the ropes to save himself. Oh, that body scissors was on Ron Starr, and Starr is gasping as he comes up. There's the bell, and we may almost have seen the debut of that body scissors as a submission hold on television, but they were too near the ropes, and as soon as Kevin Von Erich put it on, Starr grabbed those ropes. They congratulate each other and are rewarded with a warm round of applause. They deserve it. Great match. Here's Mickey.
With time expiring, referee Chuck Riley declares the match a draw.
Good foul. Kevin Von Erich's been working so hard on that body scissors. You watch in slow motion as he clamps it on Ron Starr at the end of that match, and Starr desperately heads for the ropes. He knows how dangerous that body scissors is. It was quite a match between Ron Starr and our guest right now, Kevin Von Erich. Kevin, thanks for joining us after a hard match. Excellent match. Starr's a good competitor.
Well, thank you, Larry.
Of course, Bobby Duncombe will present some different problems.
Well, any wrestler, anytime he gets in the ring, he wants to come away with the win. But unfortunately, I didn't, but it was against a very tough competitor, and I'll say at least it wasn't a total loss because I learned a lot from him, and so I'm glad I wrestled him.
And of course now against Bobby Duncombe, you're talking about things like forearm smashes, kicks, big brute strength. Completely different really from Ron Starr. How can you handle him with the body scissors, which almost beat Starr, be effective against Duncombe?
Well, now, the two styles are a lot different. A man like Duncombe, who you're talking about, is you don't know what to expect from him. You can get fist or a scratch in the eyes or whatever. But a guy like Ron Starr, I admire him. He gave me a fair match, and I really enjoyed it.
Are you satisfied with the development of your body scissors so far? It looked like you might have had a shot at getting Starr in that body scissors. How's it coming along?
The body scissor is I'm really happy about it. It's my most powerful move. And as you were talking about Duncombe, it'll be very effective with him because I've studied him. He's got a good section between his short ribs and his pelvis, and you'd have to know a little about my hold, but that's where my hold is generated, in that area.
And now you're talking rib cage?
Just below the rib cage, right?
Would it be easier if you could show it on somebody?
It'd be a lot easier if I showed it.
Mick, want to come up? Hey, I'll do it. As long as you don't kill me. Will you promise not to break me in half like you do those bags of wheat?
I'll just show you. I won't hurt you.
Promised. Okay, let me give the microphone to Mickey here.
I'm glad you decided you're going to do it, Larry. May the best man win.
Just so he knows it's soft through here. Easy to have me down?
Yeah, it'd be easier for you to get down.
Okay.
You want to put your hip. Okay.
What's important now? The placement of where the legs go across, or what?
Right here. Right here is his short ribs. And right here is kidneys and all sorts of stuff. And here's his hips. I like my legs like this.
You win. I give.
Wait.
Now put it a little tighter.
A little tighter, you saying?
Oh, nice guy. Just think if he breaks bags of wheat like this, like you do to me.
This is how it goes, but when I really clamp them on, Larry, I get my back into it, and I kind of you can see where the pressure comes from.
Yeah. Now you can use this as a pin too, though, really, right?
Right. Well, if I want to use it as a pin, I'll grab you from here.
Yeah.
And I'll just roll you straight back like. Yes. Ask him.
Do you give up?
I gave up a long time ago.
We still got time.
Oh! Now I can see why that body scissors does the job. Wait a minute, here comes Ron Starr. Oh, man. And you weren't even squeezing. Ron?
Larry, I just got one little thing I'd like to say. I've been a professional wrestler for almost 8 years. I knew this guy when he was just starting into high school. And Kevin, I want to tell you, you got a bright future, son. And if ever you need a tag team partner, you can damn sure count on me.
Ron Starr, Kevin Von Erich, opponents with a lot of respect for each other. I'll tell you something, I got a lot of respect for that body scissors. Kevin, thanks a lot. Kevin Von Erich, Ron Starr. We'll be back with another match after this.
The first main event, a one fall with a 20-minute time limit, an Australian tag team match. Introducing from Denton, Texas, weighing 238 pounds, David Von Erich. From Omaha, Nebraska, weighing 250 pounds, Ted DiBiase. From Germany, weighing 283 pounds, Von Raschke. And from Waxahachie, Texas, weighing 260 pounds, Dick Murdoch. Referee Lee Warren, Chuck Riley.
Dick Murdoch and Von Raschke, a rough and tumble combination if you've ever seen one, against Ted DiBiase and David Von Erich, two of the finest young wrestlers you also will ever see. Believe me, when you talk about top contenders for who might be the world heavyweight champion after Ken Patera and title holder Harley Race square off, you can pick any one of the 4 men in the ring in this match, and either Race or Patera, who's ever the world champion, would have his hands full. Murdoch goes behind DiBiase. Atomic knee drop. DiBiase blocked it. DiBiase blocked it. He lifts Murdoch, and atomic knee drop by DiBiase to Dick Murdoch. Ted DiBiase back in St. Louis for the first time in over a year, and he bounces Dick Murdoch with that atomic knee drop. Murdoch had to tag in Von Raschke, and Raschke hasn't been on St. Louis television for about 3 or 4 years. Beautiful fireman's carry by Von Raschke. Don't kid yourself about Von Raschke. He is a brilliant wrestler. He has a terrible temper. He always did when he was one of the finest amateur grapplers in the country. He excelled in Greco-Roman wrestling, but that temper always was in the way. He could lose his temper easily. He hasn't changed at all in the professional ranks, but he has so much skill, so much power. Well, he's almost unstoppable. And right now it's Von Raschke in the ring against Ted DiBiase. Raschke, who claims to be the true master of the Iron Claw. And you know that Raschke jumped at this opportunity because he has a showdown coming up with David Von Erich, and the day he's across from David in a tag team affair. Here comes David Von Erich. He grabs Raschke and bangs away on Raschke's head. Side headlock by David Von Erich on Von Raschke, who has an open challenge to any of the Von Erich family for a Battle of the Claws. Well, he has that coming up now against David Von Erich. The Battle of the Claws, Von Raschke and David Von Erich. And, of course, also coming up on that same card, the battle between the Missouri State champion, Ken Patera, and the world heavyweight title holder, Harley Race, with Lou Thez, the all-time great, the native of St. Louis, as the special referee. Raschke pitches Von Erich to the ropes. Von Erich over the top, and with a drop kick, floors Von Raschke. Side headlock, over the hip, down goes Raschke. David Von Erich in command and keeping a close eye on Dick Murdoch. Raschke trying to put the shoulders of David Von Erich down, but couldn't keep him there. He tries once more. Lee Warren, here's the crowd yelling, and catches Von Raschke, pulling tights, and then shoves David Von Erich back over on top. Side headlock by David Von Erich on Von Raschke. And Lee Warren balls out Dick Murdoch, chases him back to the corner because Murdoch was reaching in. Raschke trying to struggle to his feet. Von Erich with that side headlock on Von Raschke. Raschke's been dominating main events throughout the Southlands in the last year or so. Raschke pitches Von Erich to the ropes. Hip toss by Von Raschke. He goes for the claw and misses. Von Erich rolled away. There's that side headlock again. Raschke making an early attempt to catch David Von Erich with the claw. Here comes Murdoch. He's got the tag rope, and DiBiase gets there first. DiBiase grabs the tag rope away from Murdoch and puts it around Murdoch's throat. DiBiase strangling Murdoch with the tag rope that Murdoch brought into the ring. Well, that certainly backfired on Dick Murdoch. He pulled that tag rope loose and came running after David Von Erich, but Ted DiBiase came to the rescue of David Von Erich and ended up strangling Murdoch, which was what Murdoch had in mind for David Von Erich. David Von Erich over the top of Raschke, hits the rope, oh, and Raschke nails Von Erich with a knee lift to the stomach. Tag is made on both sides of the ring, and it's Murdoch who has to square off with DiBiase. Murdoch complains to Raschke about the tag not being quick enough, but it certainly wasn't Raschke's fault. Had Murdoch been in the corner, he could have made that tag. So Murdoch is certainly wrong in blaming Von Raschke, but then again, you know Murdoch's history with tag team partners. He's had his problems staying alive with anyone for any length of time. And that goes from Mickey Garagiola to King Kong Brody, who's in Japan and not at all happy about some of the things he's been hearing Dick Murdoch say. Murdoch slugs DiBiase to the canvas. Raschke stomps on the mat and yells at Murdoch. Raschke, those eyes bugged out as he yells at Murdoch to follow up the advantage, and Murdoch drops DiBiase.
5 minutes have passed, 15 minutes left.
Ted DiBiase in trouble here. Once more, DiBiase blocks that atomic knee drop on Murdoch. Murdoch blocks the atomic knee drop of DiBiase. Now they're blocking either way. That one scores. That atomic knee drop hit the mark. And so did that forearm smash. Murdoch leveled by DiBiase. Side headlock. Down goes Dick Murdoch. Frantic action today on Wrestling at the Chase, and what more could you expect with a tag team combination like this? Ted DiBiase with a side headlock on Dick Murdoch. Murdoch looking out from inside that headlock for Roschke. Murdoch with an uppercut that spun DiBiase right around. Claw yells. Oh, he yelled a claw at Roschke. And Roschke gets a claw on Murdoch. Roschke has a claw on Murdoch. He missed DiBiase. Murdoch couldn't hold on to the aggressive Ted DiBiase, and Roschke ended up with a claw on Murdoch, and now Murdoch and Roschke have a little disagreement. Dick Murdoch, he'll try anything, he'll do anything, and sometimes it backfires on him. It certainly did there. Roschke forces DiBiase to the ropes, and DiBiase fights back. DiBiase and Roschke were toe-to-toe. Murdoch got in it. Here comes David Von Erich after Murdoch. Murdoch powers in the corner. Now he fights back against David Von Erich. All four men in the ring. Finally, Murdoch gouges the eyes of David Von Erich. Meanwhile, Roschke has a headlock on Ted DiBiase. Believe me, the action is being generated not just by the two people in the ring, but the two outside the ring have been involved just as much. Dick Murdoch not too happy with the commentary out here, but Murdoch says he's had enough of this. He's going back outside. I don't know if he means outside the ring or outside the building. You never know with Murdoch. He is controversy personified. Here comes Murdoch. He comes up behind DiBiase, who did not see the tag made. Try this one, yells Murdoch at DiBiase as he bangs the elbow off the jawbone of Ted DiBiase. DiBiase sags to the rope, but comes off with a forearm smash. Side headlock briefly by Murdoch, and then he pounds a fist into the head of DiBiase. Two former Missouri State champions in there right now, Murdoch and DiBiase. Here we go, yells Murdoch. He hooks ahead. He's going for the brain buster. The suplex or the brain buster, either name you want. And Murdoch drops DiBiase with the brain buster. This could be it. Count of two. Oh, and DiBiase. DiBiase pushes off Murdoch, and Murdoch is incensed. He tags Roschke. Roschke trying to follow up the attack. He hoists DiBiase for a backbreaker. The backbreaker by Roschke. At two, DiBiase just won't stay down. Front rolling cradle, a small package by DiBiase. Roschke quickly breaks free. He's a strong, powerful man. Roschke whips DiBiase to the ropes. Oh, Roschke was trying to flip DiBiase. DiBiase nailed him with a kick. Here comes David Von Erich. David Von Erich pounds on Roschke. Drop kick, knocks Roschke to the corner. DiBiase right back on top of him. Across the ring goes Roschke. Up and over the top goes Von Roschke. David Von Erich poisons the claw, and Roschke blocks the claw. Roschke blocks the claw. Here comes Murdoch. Von Erich went for the claw on Von Roschke. Whose claw is better? The one of Von Roschke or the one of the Von Erich family? Murdoch's knee lifted to the air, and it bangs into the head of David Von Erich. Roschke chased out of the ring by the referees. Murdoch back on the assault against David Von Erich. Hot and heavy action. What more could you want from any wrestling match, from any wrestling card? David Von Erich tosses Murdoch to the ropes. Flying tackle flattens David Von Erich.
10 minutes have expired, 10 minutes left.
David Von Erich with the claw on Murdoch. Roschke charging into the ring, and he's after David Von Erich. David still hanging on with the claw. Now Roschke with the claw. Roschke with the claw on Von Erich. The Von Erich's own weapon being used against them. Von Roschke with the claw on David Von Erich. Roschke digging in. David Von Erich sagging, starting to lose consciousness as Roschke uses the Von Erich's own weapon against them. David back on his feet, trying to keep his consciousness, trying to keep his head up. He has the claw on Roschke. Both men with claws. Roschke with the claw on Von Erich with the claw on Roschke. They end up in the ropes. If they can get either man to release the claw, finally, both claws broken. The claw against the claw. Boy, you saw it graphically right there, Roschke and David Von Erich. Knee lift by DiBiase flattens Roschke. Body slam by DiBiase. Here comes Murdoch. He breaks up a potential pin. And DiBiase is angrily after Murdoch. DiBiase and Murdoch. DiBiase knocking Murdoch down to the apron. Roschke and David Von Erich battling in the middle of the ring. Murdoch pulls DiBiase outside. Murdoch slamming him into the table. Down goes Ted DiBiase. Murdoch slanging him into the announcer's table. Meanwhile, Roschke and David Von Erich have had their own Donnybrook. Oh, Murdoch slammed into that table. Again, Murdoch driven into the table by DiBiase. DiBiase and Murdoch having a Donnybrook outside the ring. Roschke trying to get out there to see what's going on. David Von Erich and Roschke inside the ring toe-to-toe. The referees try to separate them. Murdoch with a microphone tangled up around him. Ollie Hofstetter trying to untangle Dick Murdoch from the cabling outside as we try to reestablish our building here. DiBiase, atomic knee drop to Von Roschke. Tag made to David Von Erich. Roschke catches a punch from both David Von Erich and Ted DiBiase. Roschke puts his foot on the ropes to avoid being pinned. What more could happen in this match? They've wrecked ringside, I'll guarantee you that. The dropkick floors Roschke. David Von Erich, though, keeping a wary eye on Murdoch. He knows you can never count him out. Murdoch yells Roschke. David Von Erich flung head first into the top turnbuckle. Murdoch lifts David Von Erich and pounds on Von Erich's head. Lee Warren and Chuck Riley, the referees, trying to maintain some sort of order in this knockdown, drag-out, back alley brawl. Murdoch tosses David Von Erich to the ropes and nails him with an elbow right to the chin. Murdoch flying elbow drop. And then Murdoch spits at DiBiase. Here comes DiBiase. Ted DiBiase not in the mood to take anything from Murdoch or Roschke. David Von Erich carried over to the corner. Roschke pounding on David Von Erich as Murdoch holds Von Erich's arms. Murdoch yells something at DiBiase. Roschke pounding on David Von Erich. Murdoch and DiBiase about ready to square off again. Roschke misses the claw. Roschke missed the claw. Tag made to DiBiase. DiBiase pounds away on Von Roschke. Spins him with a punch. Down goes Roschke. Flying elbow drop. Try for a pin. At 2, Roschke shoves off DiBiase. DiBiase and Murdoch once more take a long look at one another. Fists are clenched. Lee Warren trying to break those fists up, but I think by this point it's almost impossible to stop Murdoch and DiBiase from going on one another hammer and tongue, just as it is to stop Roschke and David Von Erich.
15 minutes have passed, 5 minutes left, 5 minutes.
Murdoch charges into the ropes and knocks Riley right off the apron. Down goes Murdoch. The referee, Chuck Riley's been hurt. He's been knocked off the apron. DiBiase goes for the figure four. The figure four leg lock by Ted DiBiase on Dick Murdoch. Here comes Roschke, and there's David Von Erich with a claw on Roschke. Roschke trying to get a DiBiase to break up the figure four. David with the claw on Roschke. David dragging Roschke outside the ring with the claw. Look at that, Roschke being pulled outside the ring by the iron claw of David Von Erich. Finally, the referee gets David Von Erich and Roschke separated, while Murdoch simply refuses to quit against DiBiase. Roschke just won't quit. He's after DiBiase, stomping on him, and the figure four is finally broken. David Von Erich tried to get at Roschke, but Chuck Riley, who took a hard blow, stopped him. You have to admire these referees. Even they're taking their lumps in this tag match. Here comes David Von Erich. Both men, Von Erich and DiBiase, slip Roschke for a double atomic knee drop. Can you believe some of the excitement that you have seen in this match? Simply unreal action. Try for a pin, Roschke lifts that arm and manages to push off the hip of David Von Erich. Knee lift by David Von Erich on Roschke. Murdoch crawling up behind Von Erich, but David spotted him. And Roschke charges into Von Erich, who had his eye on Murdoch. Hip toss by Roschke on David Von Erich.
3 minutes left, 3 minutes.
3 minutes remaining, and for 17 minutes, the duos, one side, Von Roschke and Dick Murdoch, the other, David Von Erich and Ted DiBiase, have simply been spectacular, sensational. The short arm scissors by Roschke on David Von Erich. David Von Erich rolled Roschke into a cradle. Murdoch kicked Von Erich, and that allows Roschke to keep the short arm scissors, or the figure four arm lock, if you prefer that name for it. David Von Erich manages to lift the shoulder. Give up, yells Roschke to David Von Erich. Certainly nothing has been decided yet as to who has the better claw, although you have to be impressed by the way David Von Erich used the claw to literally drag Roschke out of the ring when Roschke tried to get in there to break up DiBiase's figure four leg lock on Murdoch. But even at that, Roschke showed you he could withstand punishment, that he could take the claw, because after that he still got back into the ring, that man, Von Roschke, and attacked Ted DiBiase. Von Roschke with a figure four arm lock on David Von Erich. There's the claw. There's the claw by Von Erich on Roschke. The claw by Von Erich on Roschke. Roschke squirming towards the rope. Murdoch's up on the top rope. Murdoch's on the top rope, and there's DiBiase after Murdoch. DiBiase knocks Murdoch off the top rope. Roschke still caught in David Von Erich's claw. There goes Murdoch up on the ropes again. He leaps off the rope. He's caught in the stomach claw. Von Erich has a claw on either man. He had the iron claw on Roschke and the stomach claw on Murdoch before Murdoch broke it up by gouging the eye of Von Erich. Von Erich needs a tag. Here comes Murdoch. Here comes DiBiase.
1 minute left, 1 minute.
DiBiase, his legs caught by Murdoch. Murdoch spins DiBiase, but DiBiase comes off punching. Murdoch slammed headfirst into the buckle. He can take it too. Those are four tough athletes inside that ring. Murdoch takes a bite out of the forehead of DiBiase. I'll tell you, I don't see how any of this quartet can have anything left by this point. They have just been non-stop from the opening bell. Murdoch stomps on the jaw of Ted DiBiase. Murdoch lifts DiBiase for a pile driver. There's the pile driver from Murdoch to DiBiase. Can he pull out a victory with just a few seconds remaining? Murdoch a bit the worse for wear himself, crawls across DiBiase. There's a bell, and that ends this match as a 20-minute time limit draw. If we can get everybody separated, Roschke and Murdoch back to one corner. They're claiming a victory, but it's not to be. This match is a stalemate, a draw. David Von Erich and Ted DiBiase against Von Roschke and Dick Murdoch. What more could you want? There is no more that you could want. Here's Mickey.
With time running out, the referee declares the match a draw.
Nothing has really been settled yet, and of course I'm talking about who is the master of the Iron Claw. Originally Fritz Von Erich invented it. Von Roschke claims to have perfected the Iron Claw, and we really don't know who has the better claw, Von Roschke or the Von Erichs.
Larry, you make one serious mistake. Fritz Von Erich invented the claw, yes? Baron Von Roschke perfected the claw. I took it to a higher plane. In my hand, it is the brain claw. It is a scientific hold, applying pressures to the nerves that run down the side of the skull and penetrate the cranium into the medulla oblongata, into the various synapses of the brain, causing excruciating pain and blackness, and making all of my opponents surrender to the great Baron Von Roschke.
Now today, during this tag match, twice you were caught, or 3 times you were caught in the claw of David Von Erich. It had to be a funny feeling to be caught in the claw yourself.
You are very smart. You caught on right away to my strategy. You notice in this match, I did not even attempt to put the brain claw on David Von Erich. I am too intelligent. I am too clever. I am too wise, too smart. I am above all the rest. David Von Erich fell into my trap. He applied the claw 3 different times, and 3 different times my brain went to work, and I knew how to defend myself against the claw, so that when I meet him in the ring, on the way to my goals, on the way to the World Championship, I know our paths must cross. I know they must cross in the Kiel Auditorium, and I know for sure that my defenses against his Iron Claw will be set, but he will not be prepared for the mastery of the superior brain claw. You know, David Von Erich is very tall, and to the uneducated eye, they would say he does not look like a wrestler. But the longer the bone structure, the tighter the tendon strength, the better the leverage. But I know this, David Von Erich. I know the potential you have, but I have been through the fire, and what the fire doesn't destroy, it hardens, and I am hardened, and I am tough, young, tender David Von Erich. Come to Kiel and feel the claw, the brain claw.
Von Roschke, who says the brain claw is better than the Iron Claw, and we will find out. We'll be back with more in just a moment.